food crazy. So today I'm going to show you how to make world famous seafood chowder. And the reason why I say it's world famous is because this came from a little restaurant down towards Peggy's Cove. And people from all around the world tried this and they absolutely loved it. The restaurant was called the Gingerbread House. It currently isn't open anymore, but the chowder was spectacular. So I'm going to show you step by step how to do it, and I'm going to make it very easy for you. This is a simple process that anybody can do, and you'll probably be surprised in at least one of the ingredients that I put into it. So stay tuned and let's get at it. So what we're going to start off with is potatoes and carrots. You're going to want around 6 medium to large potatoes and 1 large carrot. Now, I already have them diced up. I'll show you how I dice one, and then you'll know how that I do it. So I slice usually 1, 2, 3, and I turn it on the side and go 1, 2, and churn it, and then about 3 or 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do the other side. So you can kind of see the size of them. Then you're going to take the carrot, and you're going to place it down the center. The carrot you want in fairly small pieces because the carrot takes the longest to cook. So that was a very large carrot. I got it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. And we're going to turn it sideways, and we're going to dice it up small. Okay, so you got your carrots and potatoes. You're going to take a large pot and put all your carrots in. Then you're going to take 2½ cups of chicken bouillon, and you're going to pour in. I don't believe a lot of people use chicken bouillon, but it's very good. Then you're going to take 2½ cups of water, pour that in there. And then you're going to take a large onion, cut it in half, put that in there. That's for flavor. That we'll remove that later. So next is the spices. About ½ garlic clove ground up. If you don't have fresh garlic, you can use garlic powder, like a half or a teaspoon. Then we got black pepper, half of a tablespoon. Tablespoon of salt. And ½ tablespoon of celery salt. And we're going to add a ¼ cup of real butter. Now that's all we're putting in there for now, because the carrots have to cook for about 20 minutes to ½ an hour until they're about 3/4 done. We'll cook them, boil it on high until they come to a nice boil, and then I'll reduce it to a boiling simmer. So let's put this on. Okay, so I actually took these off after 15 minutes. I tried them and they're definitely 3/4 done. Sometimes I get stuff off on timing because when I'm cooking, I never time or really measure ingredients. I do it by taste and by testing it out to see how it's done. But 15 minutes with the size of these carrots were good enough. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the potatoes. So we got the potatoes added. And the water is reduced a bit. I'm going to add another cup. I got 2 cups here, but I'm going to add about a cup. Yeah, about a cup. And then we're going to bring this to a boil. And we're going to simmer the carrots and potatoes for another about 15 minutes to get the potatoes done a bit and the carrots done a bit more. And then we're going to add our haddock. The fish and seafood goes very last because this you do not want to cook very long. The haddock we'll add after, like I said, after this is cooked for another 15-20 minutes. You can also use the whitefish, that will work. And I'd also want to say is a lot of times I just use fish. I don't do the whole seafood because it's delicious. The haddock is great in chowder. I find when you add scallops and lobster, even when you only cook it for a little bit, it takes the flavor out. So what we'll do is when we put the haddock in, we'll let that cook for 5 minutes or a little bit more. You'll know it's done because it will start flaking up. Then we'll add the scallops, and basically they'll just steam done. If you cook them too much, it changes the taste of them. And at the very end, when we boil it and put it in the bowl, we'll just put a piece of lobster on. That's already pre-cooked. If you put that in, it would go like rubbery and there'd be no flavor. So let's put this on the stove for another 15. All right, so just took this off the stove. I did it for roughly another 10 minutes. It wasn't quite 15 minutes. Potatoes are getting done. You don't want to overdo them too much, otherwise they'll turn to mush, they'll just disappear. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add the fish. Fish in there. Start around a little. We're gonna put this back on. Leave it simmer as a boil a little bit, and it's not gonna take long, like 5 minutes. But what you're gonna want to do is just monitor it, stir it, and the fish will flake apart. And as soon as it flakes apart and wait, it's done. And we're gonna add the scallops just before this is done. So that was 2 pounds of haddock, or 2 pounds of white fish. This is 3/4 of a pound of scallops, and there's close to a pound of lobster. I had a little more than a pound because I can't stop eating it and there won't be none left. So in the meantime, I'm gonna take a knife. I like all my stuff in chowders and cut up to bite size. Now some people probably say don't cut up and ruin the nice big scallops, but I'm not gonna cut them up really fine, but I'm gonna probably do like half of a cut. If they're really big, I'll cut them up 3 times. So there you have it. Them are soon going in. Okay, so you can see when I stir it, see how the fish, this maybe was 3 minutes after it started to boil a bit. It's flaking apart. You can tell that's almost done. So even that setting in the heat will finish. So we're gonna put the scallops in. There now, all the scallops are in. We're going to leave that go maybe for another 5 minutes, if that. And then all we have left is one more ingredient, which is heavy cream. We're going to let this cool down a bit though before we add this. And then we'll boil it and we'll put a piece of lobster on top and give it a try. So far I hope you've seen how simple and easy this really is to make. It takes a matter of, I don't know, 20 minutes to half an hour and you got beautiful seafood chowder. All right, so it's done. That took less than 5 minutes. That was only 2-3 minutes. And the scallops were definitely getting done. There was maybe a little tiny bit that wasn't, but they're all done now just from sitting in the heat. I'm gonna take one out and just cut it and show you up close how quick they do, because that was only a few minutes. Completely done. And that's where most people go wrong. They cook their seafood way too long. That kind of rhymed. I didn't mean it to. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to leave the chowder cool for 10-15 minutes. And then we're going to add the heavy cream. I'll be back. Okay, so you're ready to do the last and final step. We're going to remove the pieces of onions. Now for heavy cream. That's 2 cups, and this is 2 cups. Give it a little stir. It's good. All right, so your bowl full out. This is a huge bowl. Now what you do, you could take a claw or a tail, put it on, or let's just put both. That. And if you want to make it a little fancy, take some parsley, chop it up really fine, just a bit. Just take a little bit of that, sprinkle it over the top of the lobster. I always, when I do cook the chowder, it's just a little bit light on the salt and pepper in my opinion, so you can put a little bit over the top. There you have it. Beautiful Nova Scotia Peggy's Cove seafood chowder. I wish you guys could taste it. Alright, so it's all prettied up and done. Roll, plate. Ready to serve. Looks good. Delicious, creamy, right amount of spices, beautiful. If you like the video, join the channel, hit subscribe, join the community, and we'll make more of these.